And like always, we are playing Breath of the Wild with the PlayStation 5 controller because all my other Switch controllers have drift, unfortunately. Oh man, what a coincidence. So if you have more questions about that, please feel free to ask about why I can use the PlayStation 5 controller on the Switch. I believe I saved it already. I don't think I need to save it again. All right, so the Yiga clan is here and they are pelting me with arrows. So hopefully I can survive. All right. Ah! They're hitting it looks like they're hitting me with like they're hitting me with electric arrows or maybe they're just hitting me with regular arrows. I don't even know, but I'm getting cooked. Where can I even go that's safe? Oh shit. I don't even understand where I can even go. All right. Oh. I just gotta keep moving. I just gotta keep moving because I don't think there's anywhere I can go where I'll be safe. What is this? What is this? Oh gosh, I did so much damage. All right, I think the music went down. Okay, all right. What can I eat? There's some zap shrooms here. Of course, you gotta cook them though to like get the electricity stuff out. And then we got some rushrooms, which I mean, you know, would come handy at some point. But I sorry, I need to survive, and I'm just gonna go ahead and eat these right now. I'm probably gonna eat these too. All right, so I don't hear any music anymore. Okay, I guess they're not chasing me anymore, so cool. All right, let me grab my. Got some stones here. Luminous stones. Now, what is this? What does this do? Can I interface with this? How would I interface with this? Okay, I wonder if any of my rooms can do something with this. Kinesis? No. Stasis? No. Brownness? No. I'll take a picture of it though. I mean, it looks like some sort of, Sheikah technology, but I don't know. In the meantime, I'm kind of far away from where I need to be, so I'm gonna walk back up there, and I guess I'm gonna talk to them. I don't know. They're obviously not listening to reason, so I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. But let me just get my weapons ready though. My shield ready. And let me get my sword ready. I guess we'll use this mobile arm. And I have 15 arrows. All right, just gotta get this ready. If I need to block. Alrighty. Oops. This mysterious Yiga clan. All right, motherfucker. Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. So, okay, that didn't go very well. That didn't go very well. I mean, I honestly thought that I could zigzag it enough to the side, but it looks like I'm just gonna have to fucking snipe him. I guess. I should have it. If I had enough headshots, I might be okay. I do gotta get used to the gyro aiming, you know, because it's a little bit faster than, you know, it's a little bit faster. But oh yeah, let me change my shield. Shield and change my weapon. Now let me save that so I don't have to worry about that again. I'll save when I get close to there so I can load it up again. Oh brother. All of this just to get the Thunderhound back so I can fight this Divine Beast. Am I even ready to fight my first major boss? I'm so nervous. But baby, we'll figure out a way eventually. We always do. All right. So, all right, there they go. They showed themselves. And now I'm going to go ahead and do what I got to do. Oh, okay. Late again. Yeah. How's it going, Val? How you doing? Yeah. How's it going, y'all? Just playing some Breath of the Wild and trying not to get shit. Where is he? Where is he? Where's oh shit. How do you jump that high? I want to jump that high. No. Oh my gosh. These motherfuckers are so fast. All right. All right. They're so fast. No problem. Have a great stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh no. Oh no. I looked away for 1 second and I got caught. All right. Wild berry. All right. Go on. All right. I might have to eat these mushrooms. I'm finna die. I'm finna die, y'all. I'm finna die. Oh, the echo is gone, by the way. Yay. Oh, okay. Well, hey, I'm glad it worked itself out. Thank you very much for bringing it to my attention. All right. I'm finna die, y'all. I'm not even gonna hold you. Oh, where were they? It's like I got blind spots. Okay. Got him. Got him. GG's. Oh. Got him. Got him. This mobile arm is damaged. Let me give me that shit. What is this? A duplex bow. A bow favored by the skilled archers of the Yiga clan. It's engineered to fire 2 arrows at once. Interesting. Okay. But I can't carry any more of these because I have... Is there a button for the bows? Okay, I see left is shields and right is swords, but there's no button for the bows? All right, whatever. I guess I'll go in here and then go over to it. That's fine. All right, let me get rid of this fucking Boko bow. This trash ass shit. All right. And what we got here? Mighty bananas. Okay. Oh, we got rubies. Okay. So is there more you can claim? Let me save it because I do not want to do that again. All right, let me save it. All right, so I initially got in here because I fell down off this rock, and then, oh, okay, so this is definitely where the Yiga clan be at. All right. I know there's more of you motherfuckers here. I just know there's more. There's a torch here. Am I gonna need that torch? Do I have another torch? I don't. Oh, I can pick it up. Okay. Let me go to it. Just in case I need to. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do something with this, but I'll pick it up. Okay. Just walking around. There's another torch. Okay. Did I see somebody just now? Oh, this is just a bow, right? Another duplex bow? I can't carry anymore. Okay. All right, nothing there. Oh, okay, we got some boxes here. Okay, let me put it out. Okay. What's the sword? You're gonna want to use the torch. Okay, well I'll put it back on for sure. Let me just see what this is. Oh, it's a vicious sickle. Why did I say it like that? It's a vicious sickle. Okay. I guess this Lizofulse arm. We can go ahead and drop that. Let me just do that. How do I drop it? Okay. Okay. So back to torch. Okay, so we got the torch back on, and there's a lot of torches here. Okay. I mean, I'm in here, but I'm not seeing anything in particular. Oh, maybe I have to take this, and maybe this will start the cutscene. All right. All right. I will put down the other one. Actually, I'll just get rid of this traveler's bow. Drop it, and then I'll pick up this one. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. I do not see. I do not. Wait. Oh wait. It's very possible that maybe some of these are not lit. No, it looks like they're all lit to me. No, they're lit. I mean, I am where I'm supposed to be. You'll figure it out. Okay. I am where I'm supposed to be, right? And my mission was, the thieves are hiding out in Carusa Valley, and the hideout itself has not been scouted by any soldiers. Gather information from the soldiers and head for the thieves' hideout. I'm here. I am here. I'm here in the hideout. Let me just walk around, I guess. Can I do something with this? No. Okay. I mean, obviously, if I walk away now, I am leaving the area that I need to be in. So let me not do that. This is strange. I know for sure that it wasn't just the one Yiga clan here. I know there's no way that it was just that one person. I do not believe that for a second, that it was just that one person. But obviously it's not. Obviously it's not. But where they at, dude? All right. Can I burn these? Can I burn these flags? If you need a hit, I got. Oh, I could burn these flags. I was thinking I could burn them. Can I burn all of them, or is it just the one? Oh, you can. Okay. All right. See, I was thinking I could burn them when I walked in, but I guess I didn't do it right. All right. So, it must be some sort of maze, I guess. It kind of reminds me of like that one last level of Sonic Adventure where with Amy, it could be any different. Oh, okay, sure. I guess. All right. You arrived in the thieves' hideout. You can sense many people waiting within. You'd be at a disadvantage if a fight were to break out. Sneak into the hideout. Oh, we gotta sneak, y'all. Oh, we about to be on our hitman shit. All right, we gotta sneak in and steal the hideout. I mean, we gotta sneak in and steal the Thunder Helm, not the hideout. What the hell? Put the whole hideout in my pocket. All right. Yiga clan hideout. All right. Oh, okay. Is that the Thunder Helm? That's a Gerudo. That ain't no Helen. That's a woman. All right. There is. What is that? Oh shit. You don't have to sneak, but oh oh. Let me pick up these bananas. Can I talk to her? Gotta escape somehow.
Oh?
Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, this is Barda. Oh, this is the missing Gerudo they were talking about. Hey, what are you doing here? This is the hideout of those Yiga clans, those Yiga thieves who stole the Thunder Helm. If they spot you, they'll call their friends for sure. There's no way you can take them all on. Only if you had some way to distract them, but I don't know how. All I ever see them do is patrol to eat bananas. I haven't seen anything else that you can exploit as a weakness. Bananas are your friend. Oh, damn. And here I was thinking bananas gonna be my snack. All right. This place is dangerous. You should get out of here while you can. I can take care of myself. And yet you're behind bars. Okay, sure. Sure, buddy. Sure, buddy. All right. Bananas are our friend. Okay. So, bananas. Let's talk bananas. Obviously, you can eat them, but I could always hold them and drop them if I need to. Okay. I guess we'll figure it out. Is there a ladder? Oh no, I can walk down. Okay. Oh no. Isn't this how I got in here? No, this is where I need to go. Okay. All right. All right. We gotta be very quiet. I'm hunting Yiga clan. What happens if I drop a banana here? Oh fuck. All right. Let me drop a banana right here. Hold, and then stop holding, and then drop. They definitely love themselves some bananas for sure. Motherfucker said, "Ooh, potassium." Head ass. All right. All right. I'm sneaking and I'm sneaking. What is a chest there? All right. Now this person is not moving, so how will I get them to? All right. Let me save it. Of course you can't save right now. Of course, Nintendo. Of course. Oh, you can also throw bananas while holding it. I was about to ask. I was about to see if I could do that. All right. So, I mean, I'm just gonna try to make it a little obvious here. Just gonna hold them, and then what? You can't hold that here. What? Okay. And then that's not what I'm trying to do. Oh, far. Oh. Okay. You can switch. Okay. If I do throw them. Do you see him? Oh, there's more bananas. Okay, so that. Oh, was I supposed to throw bananas over here? Oh, okay. I gotta go reclaim those bananas then. All right. I'll pick those bananas up when on my way, then, and go far, and I'll throw some bananas. Ooh, miraculously throwing bananas over here. Oh, whoa. Are the Yiga clan monkeys? Or something? Ooh, sapphire. Okay. All right, so there's also a banana up there. I guess I'll throw another one. I only got one more banana, so this is gonna be my last one for right now. I'm gonna throw it right over here. Oh, no. Now, there are plenty more bananas, don't worry. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of bananas. Okay, so there's a Yiga clan walking down there. Of course, I still can't save, right? Of course. All right. They just couldn't make this easy for me. Topaz. Okay, that's nice. All right, so we have how many bananas? We have 18 bananas. 18. All right, so now we need to go back down. Oh, there's another chest atop the thing too. All right. There's one down there. Oh, is that an opal? Okay, I can't see from this angle, but I could see from that one. Okay, whatever, Link. Okay, there's one right there. There's one right there. Okay, so this one covers the area there. Yeah, and then there's another one over there that walks around. Again, you gotta surveillance, survey the area, a little bit to get out your surroundings. There's a third one up there. So if I drop the banana, over here, make this one focus on that, and I drop down, but then where would I go after that? Where would I go? I mean, I guess I could go up there. Let's see. Hey, that bitch, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. To anybody who's just coming through, this is my first time playing Breath of the Wild, and I am currently doing the Gerudo Divine Beast, and I have to take the Thunder Helm back so that I can fight the Divine Beast. And that's currently what's happening. I need to sneak into the Thieves' Hideout to get the Thunder Helm back, and I'm struggling a little bit because that's my first time, but we are making progress. We are making progress. I just got to do a little bit of Hitman action, before I go guns blazing, because I don't have the firepower to fight all of them. So that's what I'm doing. That's why if I may be taking it a little slow, maybe on the second playthrough, I may be a little faster with it, but right now I'm just taking it a little slow, just trying to understand, what I can and cannot do. But I'm about to throw down some Alexander Hamilton. I thought you were supposed to be dead. Wait, okay, but all right, let's go and drop some motherfucking bananas. All right, bar. All right, so that person. All right, so I'm gonna throw these here, Because this person's about to walk through now, so I don't want to throw them here because they'll be like, where those bananas come from? But I will drop it after they walk around, and then next time they'll see them, right? So I'm gonna drop them. So now when they walk around again, they're going to see them, and I'm gonna fall down. Oh. Oh, they're eating the bananas. Okay. Oh. No, 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 no. Put it down, put it down, put it down. Did I just pick up? Did I pick up that topaz, or did it just go away? It disappeared. Okay. All right. In the meantime, let me drop a banana here so I can keep on moving. Drop a banana. Hold. Drop. Come on, get back to okay. Fine, you wanna come around? That's cool. You got the oh, I got it. Okay, all right. All right. So now let's keep on going because they're coming around. What? Oh, because I blocked it with the fucking. Okay. I see. I made a mistake and blocked it. So they're not okay. So now they're only looking where they're only looking there. Okay. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick up the bananas and I'm gonna drop them right over. Okay, I can't hold that right there. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna pick it up and then I'm gonna toss them over there. All right. Oh fuck! Why? I pressed the wrong button. I did not mean to whistle. If this is real life, I just gave him my position, and we're all dead, including you that's watching. We're all dead. The Yiga clan is gonna kill all of us, including you. I did not mean. Okay, hopefully I won't lose just because of that. Fuck! No! Why did I do that? No! Oh wait! But I can drop some bananas. All right. Oh. No, somebody else saw the bananas? They all saw the bananas? Okay, okay, that's low key kind of funny. They all said, "Oh, more for me." Head ass. Okay, so all the Yiga clan are just fucking Donkey Kong. Apparently. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, okay. So that let me know that there's more Yiga clan there. Oh shit, they're coming around. All right, pick them up, hold them. All right, you can climb up the middle. Is this on PC? Yo, what's good, Bo? No, I am playing on the actual physical Nintendo Switch, but I am playing with my PlayStation 5 controller on the Switch because my Switch controllers have drift. So, but my Switch is modded, but this is just vanilla Breath of the Wild. This is my first time playing it, and I am currently trying to hide out from the Yiga clan. How's it going? All right. Okay. Oh shit. You can climb up the middle. Oh. Okay. Oh shit. Oh, there's two people over here now. Now I'm about to say, is your Switch connected to your monitor? Yes, I have a capture card, and the Switch is connected to the capture card, and I have another monitor off to the side over here that I'm looking at the Switch on. Yeah. I'm good, bro. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. Just vibing out. You know, figure I give this Zelda thing a try. You know, I grew up with some of the older Zelda games, but you know, they didn't really appeal to me that much. So I figured I'd give them a try now. And I'm definitely loving the game. Now that I'm taking it slow and not just trying to speed run through it just because everybody else has played it, you know, I'm kind of enjoying it. So, you know, I'm looking forward to playing Tears of the Kingdom whenever I get over there. All right. Okay. So, grab the bananas. All right. Far. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. Wait, chat, I might be cooked, chat. I might be, I should get a lunch soon. I'm hungry. Yeah, you definitely should. Chat, I might be cooked. They didn't buy the bananas. They didn't buy the bananas. I think we're all cooked. I think we're cooked. You cooked me. It's your fault. No, I'm just kidding. It's my fault. Glad to hear that because it reminds me of Sly. Used to play that growing up. Okay. Yeah, Sly Cooper, that's what's up. You know, that's another series that I mean, I played some of the Sly Cooper games. I like them. I just haven't played them in a long time. Same with Ratchet and Clank. I haven't played them in a long time, but maybe one day, I would like to, you know, boot up some Sly or some Ratchet, you know, play a little bit of that, or maybe some Jack and Daxter. You know, who knows? There's plenty of plenty of gems, you know, platforming gems. Okay. Let's test out how stupid or smart they are. All right. What if I just did that? I might be cooked, chat. Low key, I might be cooked. I might be cooked. I can't make myself invisible. Oh gosh. What am I going to do? What am I gonna do, y'all? I mean, I might as well just rip off the band-aid. And just say fuck it and just go through. Jack and Daxter's super cool. Yeah, no, Jack and Daxter's great. All right, y'all. Here we go. Oh boy. Wait, you didn't see me? No! Damn it. Oh shit. All right. Run! I should pick up the bananas too. All right. Oh, damn. I just got one shot. I just got fucking one shot. Okay. All right. Now now I will be a little bit more smarter with this now. Okay. That didn't go very well, but I learned a lot, right? I definitely learned a lot. So now we're not going to do whatever that just was. We're not going to do that. All right. So where am I? Oh, they sent me all the way back here. Okay. Okay. All right. So I don't have any bananas, right? Yeah, I only have one banana. Okay, they sent me back. Okay. All right, no problem. I already talked to her. I can't save it right now, right? Oh, I could. Okay. All right. Let's grab a banana, hold it. All right, toss it. Oh, he saw it. Wait, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way. All right. I think there's only a topaz over here. I mean, that would still be good for my. That would still be good for my rupees. So I'll get it. No, I am doing the wrong thing. Can I jump out of it? Nope. Nope. Okay. Note to self: do not press the down the down D-pad. That is a trap for me. Do not press the down D-pad. I will alert them to my presence. Please don't do that. All right. All right. All right, let me throw them again. All right. Do not press the whistle button. Yeah, I know it's so funny. It sounds so simple not to press the whistle button and just alert everybody to my presence, but I keep pressing it by mistake. Okay. You can use the whistle to your advantage to turn them away instead of using a banana. Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. That's some three-dimensional thinking. I could get their attention, make them go one way, and then throw a banana the other way. Your mind. I see. Okay. All right. So what? All right. So what if I whistle over here, and I do that, and I just go that way. All right. Thus saving myself a usage of a banana. All right. That did work back then, yeah. All right, so. Okay, here we go. Let me go ahead and grab these bananas. Cause I might need them. You know, either to eat or to use. Let me go grab this. All right. And of course I can't save it right now. Of course. All right. I'm gonna get some lunch. Okay, enjoy. What are you about to grab for lunch, by the way? I'm curious. I wonder. I can't save right now, so I can't test the theory. But I know I want to climb up over there where that person is. So what if I just now there's a person here where it's like short. I think I'm gonna go with crab. Oh, I have no idea what I'm gonna grab. I'm about to say, oh, crab sounds really good, but no, I see. All right, what if man, if this was Hitman, I used to be able to I could throw a rock, right? I could throw a rock a considerable distance to make the motherfucker see it and then just fucking sleep him. Or if this is Batman, you know, if I was playing Arkham, I could just go right over him and then hit him with that grappling hook and put him up on like Spider-Man. But this is not Batman or Hitman. This is Link Man. All right. No. Wait. Oh. Why did I think about this before? That puts me in a new position. So now I can look around about what I'm doing. Grab more bananas. I could heal actually. And now I can. Wasn't there a chest around here somewhere? Oh, yeah, it's right there. Now I can go ahead and get this. Or you could throw mighty bananas, wait for them to get it like you did 5 minutes ago. Oh yeah, no. I definitely will throw some bananas for sure. No, I definitely will throw some bananas for sure. I just wanted to see. I'm just scoping out my options right now, but I'm definitely about to do that for sure. All right. So this guy is blocking. This guy's blocking the way. This guy walks right next to him, and there's a person right there. I don't. Are they guarding a room? No, they're not. Okay. So if I were to throw a banana, and then they look at that, they walk down there, I could just glide into that room. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's grab a banana, hold it. Wait, can I hold more than one? I can hold more than one, right? All right. Let's grab some bananas. Bro, I mean, it was a smart decision learning from the game and applying the same tactic in another game. Yeah, for sure. Will that work? Just started preheating some air fryers, some nuggets and tots. Nice. Easy money. Easy money. Easy money. More bananas, bro. Where the fuck is the mighty helmet, bro? All right, now I'm in this room. Duplex bow. Does anything look suspicious? Anything looks suspicious? Oh, okay, there's a chest here. Topaz, okay. Okay. This is the last room, don't worry. There are chests in the ground. It's like gold or better in that vicinity. Oh, there is chests, okay. Oh! Oh, there's something in the wall. Okay, all right. All right. You know, I'm so glad I was able to go the high route and not even have to waste my time with any of that. That felt good to me. You know, it probably was something that a lot of people already did, but I feel good about doing that. I was like, okay, all right, let's just skip all this shit. All right, this is clearly a wall. Okay, all right. What's about to happen? It's a cutscene. Oh, what is that? Don't tell me the Thunder Helmet's down there. We're not going there. Hey. Oh shit. They protect bananas and they throw their precious stuff across the room. Who the heck are you? And what are you doing in my napping spot? Wait a minute. You're not a Yiga. That thing on your hip. I got that iron on my hip. Could that be a Sheikah slate? If that's a Sheikah slate, then that means it's you. You're that Link guy I've been looking for. My luck, my scouts in the field looking high and low, but you wandered into my hideout. Oh, excuse me. I haven't introduced myself yet. I am the leader of the Yiga clan. The strong, the burly, the one and only Master Koga. Now prepare yourself, motherfucker. That's not what he said, but I mean, that's what it felt like he was saying. Oh, okay. So, oh, this is just a fight. Can I save? Oh, okay. Oh, we can save. Okay. All right. So Master Koga. Okay. All right. Did I learn the intel about Master Koga before this? I don't think I did. So, all right, we're just gonna fucking do the damn thing, I guess. He has powers? Is that a bomb? Ah! Okay, okay. Oh, he has. Is that a force field? I'm guessing that blocks arrows. Let's find out. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay. Wait, that's a fucking torch. Oh my gosh. I'm trolling. I'm trolling, bro. Maybe switch off the torch, yeah. Oh shit. He's mad now. He's mad now. Oh no, he's got 2 balls now. Pause. All right, I think I figured out your gimmick, motherfucker. Yeah, you got them 2 balls, but I'm about to. Oh wait, I don't have no more bows. I got 3 arrows. Okay, all right. I don't want to waste my good bows for this. All right, what weapon am I using? My shit about to break, so let's go ahead and use the. Oh, what about if I use thunder on him? Yeah, let's try that. Oh wait. Oh wait, I don't have no more arrows. What the fuck am I gonna do if I need arrows? Oh, I should have got more arrows. What am I gonna do now? I only have 1 arrow left. I have an idea. By the way, if you throw a nearly broken weapon, it does 3 times damage. Oh, there are ways. Don't worry. Oh yeah, I was thinking about throwing it. I was thinking about throwing a weapon. I'm not worried in the slightest. All right, but what if I did? Well, the torch is about to break, so let's switch to the torch. Oh wait. He has Sheikah powers too? Wait, what am I doing? It looks like magnesis, so can I just... Surely I could just... Oh fuck, golly. That shit did a lot of damage. I mean, I didn't want to eat my heat resistance foods because I definitely gonna need those. But maybe I could eat these bananas. All right. Got his ass. Alrighty. Yo, Nova Midnight, what's good, my friend? How you doing? The pear-shaped Padre, love that guy. Oh yeah, like I said, this is my first time ever fighting him. I'm glad I was able to beat him on my first try though. Who would have thought I'd be done in like this? And by this guy of all people. What does that mean? You think I'm just gonna let this stand? GG, thank you. I lost my temper there. My food's almost ready. Hey, let's go. I need to get me some lunch too. I'm hungry as fuck, but I don't know what I'm gonna get either. Ugh, what a pain. I can't go out this way. What to do? Good job. I'm goody. How's Breath of the Wild been treating you? Breath of the Wild's been treating me really well. I need to bust out my serious moves. Pause. A secret technique that taught by my father's mother's father. Your father is mother's father. Okay. It will destroy you. This is the end. Okay, Dr. Eggman. He's not gonna get away with this. All right. That's a big boy. I love the voices. Hey, thank you very much. Hey, huh? Maybe that's just a tad bit too big. Are you still over there? Well, no matter. Wait, what? What if I just slashed it and made it roll towards him, and then we just both died? How about that? You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to die about this Zelda shit, old man. Are you? Pretty soon you'll be gone, and not just from my line of sight. The only leader of the Yiga clan, that's some Looney Tunes shenanigans right there, right? Oh, it actually happened. No way, they actually started rolling. Coward, I shall be remembered. So it actually started rolling towards him. Okay, sure. The Yiga clan will track you to the ends of Hyrule. And now he's dead. Oh, okay, is this the Thunder Helm? That ending felt like I just finished a boss in Metroid Prime. I gotta replay Metroid Prime sometime. The Thunder Helm! We got the Thunder Helm, everybody. This is it. We can finally go to the next step in this first Divine Beast quest. All right, Divine Beast Naboris, now we can go back. You retrieved the chief's heirloom for the thieves leader. It's time to head back to Gerudo Town and return the heirloom to Riju. All right, here we go. Let's go back. All right, now how do we get back to, oh yeah, we could just do this. Gerudo Town, the Dako Chisei Shrine. All right. Let's go. Gosh, this game is so much better than I remember. I'm definitely glad I took a couple. I mean, it took a while because, like, you know, this game came out in 2017, but you know, everybody was like on Breath of the Wild fever, and I was just like, oh, you played it before? I never played it. I just interacted with it. I only like fucked around in the tutorial area, the Great Plateau, for a little bit. I never went any further than that because I was like, I wasn't really a big Zelda fan. I was like, you know, around that time I was like, you know, kind of fucking around with. It was 2017. I think that's when Sonic Forces came out. Now hold up, before you judge me, we didn't know that Sonic Forces was going to be ass. You know what I'm saying? We were like, oh, this is a new Sonic game coming out. It's finna be lit. Eggman taking over the world. And I was like, okay, I was like really on the Sonic Forces type shit. So I wasn't really trying to play Zelda. You know what I'm saying? I can't judge. I literally just played it again yesterday. Yeah, you know, that game is like the game of all time. So you know, I was just like, oh yeah, let me put on my clothes. Put on my sexy clothes. Pause. All right. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I didn't really give Breath of the Wild a fair shake because I was like, you know, one, I wasn't really used to older Zelda games, and I was like, you know, they feel a little slow for me, you know, coming from Sonic and stuff. So I didn't really play them like that. But now picking them up years later, and I could take them slow, and it's like it's okay. So, you know. Plus, I'm caught up on all the Sonic games right now anyway. So I played Shadow Gens. I played I played a bunch of fan games recently. You know, I'm just like, all right. Okay, so now we're about to talk. Where the fuck is Riju at? Oh wait, I didn't save Berta, bro. Well, I guess she said she'd be all right. She said she'd save herself, I guess. If you're looking for Lady Riju, she's on the second floor. Normally people are allowed into her sleeping quarters, but she's giving you permission, it seems. Be on your best manners. If she deems you to be a disturbance for her, it will not end well for you. Don't worry, shorty, it's okay. I'm just gonna let her know I got the Thunder Helm. We're gonna be all right. I totally get you. My favorite Zelda is Wind Waker. Oh, I love Wind Waker. That is one of the Zeldas that I did play. I like Wind Waker. I can't do the older, slow dungeon crawlers. See, you get me. That's what I'm saying. I'm like I know. Don't get me wrong. I know Wind Waker to an extent has all the sailing and like, you know, some of the islands be a little far and shit. I get it, but like some of that Legend of the Ocarina time, like you go to this one dungeon to get that one thing to go back to the other thing. I'm like, that should be, it kind of blowing me. I ain't even going. You know, I don't like all that. I return with food. Hey, welcome back. She fine as hell? Oh no, she is fine as hell. You know, nah, shorty's bad. You know what I'm saying? Look at those green piercing eyes, you know, looking straight through me. She could fold me in half. But you know, I just can't do the older, slower games either. But you know, I figure I get this one a shot. But I do at some point plan to play Twilight Princess at some point. That is another one I wanted to play, and maybe Skyward Sword. Man, Riju short as hell, bro. All right. We get voice acting. I've been waiting for you. Oh, you needn't say the word. As the chief of the Gerudo, I can sense the power of the heirloom flowing from you. I know that you succeeded. Is the requirement to be a Gerudo? You just have to have a six-pack. I mean, I respect it. You know, I need to do some Gerudo training myself. I need that six-pack too. As you have no doubt noticed, still but a child. The people look to me with nothing but warmth in their eyes, but even this brings me some pain, I must admit. You gotta be tough out here in the desert, for sure. I've tried so hard to be worthy of their love, to be a worthy chief, and to prove myself that I was worthy too. When my family heirloom was stolen, I felt as if a shadow had fallen over me. Yes, your arrival in the midst of all this must have been the work of Lady Urbosa. Now, please give me the helm. There you go. How do I look? That shit look hard. Wait, that shit look tough. That shit's fire. That's a dope ass mask design. If it was like a full armor, that shit'd be hard. It like some shit like what game would that be cool in? Maybe some like Dark Souls shit, or maybe, I mean, it looks like a Dead Space thing, but like, I don't know. How do I look? That shit tough. I see the vision. That shit tough. Link sees the vision too. He just like me for real. Except I'm not like you know, like 412. Oh, he's remembering. He's remembering, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's Naboris. Okay. Oh, we getting a cutscene. Okay. Let's put the controller down. Oh, Zelda. Look at Urbosa, fine ass.
Ah, well, you certainly got here fast.
I am the Flash after all.
I should have expected as much from the princess's own appointed knight.
Yes.
She was out on a survey all day today.
Mm-hmm.
Still as the sands now. So, spill it, boy. Have the two of you been getting along all right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, come on. It's
okay.
me.
I know. Your silence speaks volumes.
Zelda love me.
She gets frustrated every time she looks up and sees you carrying that sword on your back.
I mean, hey, I'm a knight. What I gotta do, right? I gotta protect you.
Destiny. Don't worry, it's not like you carry blame in any of this.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
She's put in more than enough time.
Honestly.
Ever since she was a young girl, she's gone through rigorous daily routines to show her dedication. She once passed out in the freezing waters trying to access this sealing power.
Damn.
And she has nothing to show for it.
Shout out, that Noah's game fire. I can tell you that. Oh no, that Noah's game is absolutely fire. We see it. We see it. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I see it. Also, shout out to Zelda doing all of this stuff and working real hard. You know, shout out. I'm not gonna say this the only one, but this is definitely like top 5 hardest working Zeldas for sure.
It's probably time we take her in.
Yeah. I low key wish I could talk, but.
Or
What you mean, or? That's crazy.
What was that?
That's crazy. Why was she? Yo, she's a sicko. Hermosa's sick, bro.
What are you doing here?
She's so sassy. Hey, we love it though. We love it though. But that's actually crazy. She just said, "Wake up, bitch." I think that's so hilarious how she went from like I think it's just so hilarious how she went from, you know, as still as the sand. Look at her looking very, you know, she just looks very serene, very peaceful. All right, wake up, bitch. All right, what's wrong? You're just staring. Anyways, what matters now is how is it? Do I look all right? It looks good. It looks good. You definitely, you know, you're definitely a champion worthy of Urbosa for sure. Yeah, this Zelda had it pretty rough, you know. Hey, we should shout out to her though. You know, it's still funny that she's British, but I mean, you know, I'm never gonna let her go for that. British, I see. Oh wait, was I supposed to say it was a tad bit too big? But I mean, whatever. The threat, divine beast Vidnoboris, poses only grown since we began searching for the heirloom. She's a 10, but she's British, right? You know, so we got to knock off a couple points. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to anybody from the UK though, just in case. You know, I love y'all, but y'all accents though. You know what I'm saying? Just Link. Nah, fuck out of here. All right. I believe that Gerudo town itself may be in danger before too long. As chief and as a Gerudo, I must find a way to stop it before it threatens my people. Will you help me? Of course. What do I just said? Not right now. I kind of need to go. I need to go take some pictures, I guess. No, I got you. Who would have thought that just before a momentous battle, hearing such a simple, confident pledge of support from you would be what puts me at ease. I'll head out now. Let's meet up in the lookout post south of town. There's only one way to get close to Naboris, and that's with the help of a sand seal. The lookout post isn't too far from town, and you should be able to. You should take a sand seal there. You can get some practice in that way. I'll be waiting for you with my favorite sand seal, Patricia. That motherfucker's got names. All right, bro. Still, it really is a little big. I mean, you're like 10. All right. Vandaboris, let's save it. I mean, it probably saved already, but let's just save it anyways. I'm so glad we beat Koga on our first time. You know, I mean, to be fair, his particular gimmick or his particular like battle style wasn't too hard to figure out. And I know it's going to get harder from here on out. But I am glad that we were able to. I'm glad we were able to beat that. I'm glad we didn't die, because you know that would have kind of sucked. But all right. So now we need to go to. This is where we need to go. And now where do we get sand seals from? Please get some food. Yeah, you're right. Wait. Like you mean like in the game or like in real life? Okay. Let's see. Some rock salt, some tabintha wheat, some Hylian rice. Oh, y'all saw Hylian rice? Okay. Who gave that to you? How you get that? Sun shroom, razor shroom. I gotta get some chores done, but you have a wonderful time. I'm so glad I got to stop by and enjoy the vibes. Hey, I appreciate you coming through, Nova. Yo, stop by at any time. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Hopefully those chores go smoothly. Both? All right. Let me go ahead and figure out what I'm gonna have. Give me 1 second. Let me see. We'll take a short break. We'll take a short break for a couple minutes, and then we will take it from there. All right, what are we gonna have? What do I have a taste for? I don't have a taste for anything too heavy. But first, I want some rice, or do I want some? I want some. Hey, come save me. Let's see. A Jersey Mike sandwich sounds pretty good. I can go for a sub. Maybe a turkey sandwich or something like that. That don't sound too bad. All right, I figured out what I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna have a turkey sandwich. I'm gonna go order that in just a moment. All right. Okay. I need to get food. That's for sure. Chill shroom, zap shroom, sun shroom. I mean, zap shrooms would be good because I am going to be fighting Vanaboris, and Vanaboris is electricity. So, oh, that was it. You only had one. Okay, that's cool. I guess. Iron shroom increases your defense. Razor shroom, it increases your strength. I mean, I guess I'll just get them. And a razor shroom. I need to attack thing. Sun shroom. It could help you endure the bitter cold. Sun shroom. I mean, I guess it can come in handy. Fuck it. When do I start getting better armor, yo? I need to get some armor for real. All right. Okay. Oh, is meat? Is this meat? Yeah, let me get some meat. Oh, she's so pretty. Good morning. I really want to use the actual Gerudo greeting. You know, Savota. But I'm worried I might mess it up and embarrass myself. You know, like, look at me. I can speak another language. It just feels like bragging. you know what? I actually understand where you're coming from, but just don't be annoying about it. You know what I'm saying? There is armor. You can buy it here, but it's secret. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, that's interesting to know that there is a secret armor. Sure. All right. Don't overthink it. You really think I'm putting too much thought into it? Maybe you're right. Gerudo Town is so different from home. I live in Rito Village. Oh yeah, I would have never guessed. We don't get many visitors there. I'm not really familiar with non-Rito. But now that I'm here, I should enjoy myself. I wanted to start trying out some of the meat here, but well, they don't seem to have poultry. What? Aren't you a bird and you're trying to eat bird meat? What the fuck? Y'all some savages, bro. That's crazy. Yes, let me buy some meat. Yes. I'm sorry I bought up all the meat. Sorry. Fuck you. Let's see. There's herbs. Oh, these are arrows. Oh, fire arrows. Oh, I can get different kind of arrows. Ooh. Bomb arrows, shock arrows. I feel like I should eventually get some arrows, but I need to find a seller because I need to sell some of these like rare materials that I got so I can get some more rupees. Oh, look at this. Oh, adorable. Hey lady, be sure to buy a lot of stuff, okay? I really recommend ice arrows and we shoot them at something crack. Frozen solid. That's cool. Is there any sellers here that I could sell to? that are not that I can any merchants that I can sell to that are not Gerudo Veil, Gerudo Top, Gerudo Sorol. Okay. Oh, the sand seals. Okay, okay, okay. Note to self: these are the seals. Great. All right. Great. All right, but where? Oh, there's weapons. Gerudo Scimitar. But I have too much shit. This torch could go. Oh wait. Yeah, I might as well get rid of it. Oh, another sledgehammer? I think the one I have right now is on the way. It's on its way out. So. I guess when I grabbed it. Oh, it's A. Whoops. Ooh, silver rupees. Let's go. All right. Is this meat? Not to rock. Okay. Is everything in here? I'm just in somebody's house. If you want me to tell you where to find the secret arbor, you want to figure out yourself. It's really well hidden. I mean, I guess I could always look around. You know, maybe I could. I mean, if it's really well hidden. Oh, I didn't know there was a password. H.
Oh.
And what comes next? R. And after that, T. And what comes last? Oh fuck. I'm gonna take a random guess. I'm just taking random guesses. I don't know the password. Diamond. Oh damn. The secret club secret. I guess I'll figure that out eventually. Damn, she told me to go drink milk at the. She told me to drink milk at the bar, you child. Sava. What's that? What's a Vo doing here? That room with the password is where you get the hidden armor. You got to figure out the password. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'm glad that I looked around then. All right, doesn't matter what you do. But since you came all the way here, we'd like to stay a bit in the chat. Sure, a goddess statue. Oh, the goddess statue has been here long before, since I was born. No one here really believes in that stuff anymore, though. They tend to avoid stopping here. Kind of like to avoid me. But someone has to take the goddess statue company. So here I am. It's such a treat to chat with a Vo again. Will you humor me a bit longer? Ever left the town? Oh, I mean, I look it. Well, I was quite the traveler when I was young. Quite a beauty, too. It was a rare thing for a Vo not to notice me come into a room. But I had a fairy tale notion in my mind. I heard of the Lover's Pond, and I thought I'd meet my true love there. I traveled all across Hyrule searching for this fabled place, but I couldn't find it. And before I knew it, I'd grown old, and the Vo no longer turned when I walked in. Oh, don't look so sad. I stopped being sad about it a long time ago, and I chased my dreams. Wow. Wow. Oh, this is a goddess statue. Okay. Oh, I can offer you great power, but you don't have 4. Honestly, I feel like the spirit orbs being 4 is kind of crazy. But what is this? If you open across the Gerudo Desert, standstill surfing is the way to do it. Totally. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, I guess this is why I would. Okay, I'll come back around, and I need to take a mental note of. I need to make a note that this is where I would go to buy a sand seal. All right. So I gotta find the password out, right? Interesting. I wonder what I would have to do to find the password out. Like, who the fuck would even know that? Who would even know that? That's a torch. Examine. It's too high to read. It's too high to read. Can I jump over there? Can I not get up there by just jumping? What did she say after you got it wrong? She said go drink milk at the bar. Oh, where the fuck is the bar at? What is this? This is not the bar. This is where you put diamonds. Is this a seller here I can sell to? Oh, hey, what's up? What's up? I'm sorry, Grudo Jewelers isn't open right now. There's a big theft seems to have solved, but Naboris is out there causing a ruckus, so it's dangerous to travel. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, make sure I come back here so I can sell some jewelry, I guess. Where is the bar at though? Go drink milk at the bar. Wait a second. Just some random house. This is the standstill place. It's the goddess statue. Okay. If you get our password wrong, you have to wait until the next day to try again. It's just basic security. We can't let any suspicious characters in here. Oh, so I have to wait till tomorrow. Okay, that's fine. All right, I'm not gonna trip about it, but I definitely do want to come back. I wonder, will this armor help me with the fight? Because if it will, then I definitely would want to get it. Oh, this is the hotel. This is the jewelers. Or Hotel Oasis, spa plan. Okay, but that's not where I'm looking for. What is this? Did I come in here already? Perchance is hilarious. I'm finna go stomp some turdies, I guess. Perchance. Oh, you're saying you're responding to my thing. I said perchance. It could help, or it may not. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. Well, I mean, I would have to sleep till tomorrow to try again, but and I probably can come in here and do that. Look at this cute little vibe. I bet you would absolutely love what we have here. It's an inn, of course, but we also have a special spa plan. It's really popular, so popular that we have a long line of people waiting to get in. Although I don't know what it is, I feel something special from you. You can cut to the front of the line. I mean, hey, I'm just like that, I guess. Oh, I'm just going on and on. What can I do for you? The nightly rate is 20 rupees, but the special spa plan. Oh, you never heard of spa plan at Hotel Oasis? I was sure it was known the world over. The spa plan we offer will fill you with energy and truly unique feeling of resilience to great dangers. As extra bonus, it'll take years of worry off your I feel like years of worry have been washed away, leaving your skin bright and smooth. Intriguing, right? Fuck it, let's do the spa plan. Anyway, when would you like to be woken? Let's do it in the morning. All right. Well, I mean, we're not all guys here. We're not all women here. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. What happened? Oh, I got more hearts now. You look like the very image of relaxation. Please be careful on your journey. The desert is dangerous. Okay, so now I have yellow hearts. What the fuck do yellow hearts do? Are those like defense hearts or something? All right. What is this? Oh, okay. I found the bar. I found the bar. Okay. This is the bar. Ugh. I just like to be the one to do the jerk waste after the cooking. I was gonna tell you if I'm gonna got my parent password to you know where. Seriously, wow, that place is a little crazy, isn't it? Maybe, but I'm really interested. Anyway, the password is. Wait a second. You, did you really think we wouldn't see you standing there listening to our conversation? So rude. This is a private conversation. Go away. Damn, bro. Yellow hearts are temporary. Same with yellow stamina. Okay. I was gonna tell you if I got my password, you know where. Oh no, wait. Oh, I didn't mean to talk to her again. Yo, Gerudo women are beautiful, bro. Oh, okay. It's the same thing no matter what. Okay. All right. Okay. Damn. All right. Anyways. I don't like girls twice my height. What do you mean by that? I'm only 8 feet tall. Damn. Golly, that's a tree. Golly. I'm engaged. I can't even be angry at that one. I really like shorter hair. I grew my hair out when he said he liked long hair. I'm engaged. What do you mean by that? Let's see. Damn, that's unfortunate. Masak, oh, you're Holly and Vi. We don't see many of you. I can't tell how old you are, but you look a little young to come to my shop. We make special drinks here that are definitely for adults. I mean, I'm pretty sure League's an adult. A big part of the drink we use is from the ice house. Makes them really refreshing. Well, you're a little too young to be here, don't you think? How about milk? Milk? We don't carry anything as childish as milk here. Did Greta tell you to come here and ask that store clerk is just trying to plank on you? Good grief. She doesn't have anything better to do with her time. She's always being secret about her shop, but hiding something makes young people more interested. Well, you look a little young to be. Oh, okay. Our featured cocktail is Noble Pursuit. Many of our customers come here to order it. The light, sweet taste, the cool sensation of each sip. It's like drinking distilled motivation. Well, you're a little young to be. Okay. Okay. I'm Pokey around lately. She comes here to drink a Noble Pursuit too. Well, I'm sorry, I don't even know why I'm telling you this. Pokey, huh? Who might Pokey be? Did I see that person around? Is that this person? No, that's Deltan. Hyra, Sumati, Yido. Okay. All right. If only there was a way to eavesdrop, right? If only there was a way to eavesdrop. If only there was a way to eavesdrop. Is there? Oh. Not to just looking at me. Yo, imagine I just have my binoculars out, like I'm just scoping out, and they just looking at me like, what the fuck is she doing, bro? If only there was a way to eavesdrop, huh? May I take a picture? I don't even know what I'm doing, bro. I will take a picture. There's some Gerudo chicks just chilling out. Super Vogue, who needs them? All right. If only there was a way to eavesdrop. Yeah, if only there was a way to eavesdrop. What are you implying there, friend? What are you saying there? Huh? What are you saying there? Huh? If only there was a way to eavesdrop. And do pray tell, curious, how would someone do that if they were to happen to eavesdrop? How would somebody do that? Hold on, let me see something. This is a child. What are you doing? I'm just keeping a secret from Mama, but I'm growing a fruit garden here and I eat all the fruit. My stomach is filled up. I haven't figured out what to plant here yet, though. If I grow a lot, I'm sure some of it's some with you. Oh, sure. If only there was a window with a grate above their heads. If only there was a window with a grate above their heads. If only there was a window with a grate above their heads. Who's this? Oh. It was over there the whole time. I thought it was stranded sandstorm and they've lifted. Oh. Oh, she's cute. And what is highly like yourself doing here? What are you doing? I'm an archaeologist of sorts. I poring over some ancient texts I had scrolled out today, and I finally decoded it. Well, part of it, but the rest is not far off. With this discovery, I'll finally be able to make a name for myself as an archaeologist. Of course. You and I meeting here is no coincidence. I've never been one to question fate. I can't explain why, but I trust you for some reason. I can tell you the details of my research if you can keep it secret. Sure, I guess. There's a temple east of here near the entrance to the Gerudo Desert. It's dedicated to the 7 giant statues of the heroines said to be the divine protectors of the Gerudo. It was at this temple I originally discovered the ancient scripture. It reads, when the symbols of the 7 find their place, the best blessed path may be revealed. That's all I've been able to decipher so far. It's believed that people once came from around the world in search of heroine's blessing. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't appear that anyone has found it yet. I'm not sure exactly what it means, but maybe I'll find out once I decipher more of the text. I'm not sure if it's related, but it said that the heroines had powers that were part of a bigger whole. Each heroine had a different power: skill, spirit, endurance, knowledge, flight, motion, and gentleness. But they all look the same to me. I should understand the entire script before long, but that's only the beginning of my problems. The divine beast has been moving around the area, making it hard for me to conduct my research. That thing has no respect for academia. Oh, fuck. And now it's giving me another thing. Oh. What was up with that little Hylian Vi earlier, by the way? Forget her. Just hurry up and tell us the password. Yeah, I know. Oh, that's right. The password is GSC Diamond. I heard Sala talking about it. I'm sure that's right. GSC Diamond. What could that be? Oh, I get it. Gerudo Secret Club. And what could the diamond mean? Who knows? Oh, okay. We learned a little something. All right, motherfuckers, are yapping. Okay. Now where do we go? Oh, I didn't realize we had a yellow stamina wheel there. GSC Diamond. Interesting. Wait, what am I doing? This is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not where I'm supposed to be. All right. Oh, it's the sand seals again. Okay, so that's now I'm trying to be at. Okay, so we finally got the password. While you're right, that password was hidden. I definitely would not have figured that out. Maybe over time I could have, but I do appreciate your help. Okay, we gotta go this way, right? Yeah, it's over here. All right, GSC Diamonds. What's the password? G. And what comes next? Est. C. Diamonds. All right, you can come in. Let's go. I'm in, baby. I infiltrated. All right. Hey, I haven't seen your face around here before. Looks like we got ourselves a rare visitor. I guess. What's that skeleton ass armor, bro? I guess I should ask too many questions. You remember here, so thanks for your patronage. The secret club secret complete. Elsewhere, it may have been Savada or Savak, but it's always here as Sasava. Buy from me. I suppose I could. I won't be paying more than any other trader would. Though I'd love to pick up something rare if you got anything like that. I mean, I got some motherfucking jewels you could have. Sure. I need to go buy some arrows too. I'd be happy if there was something more uncommon. Do I have anything super rare? I don't think I have anything super rare. But I do need to sell this ruby though. Fun fact, this is the only room where you can take off the female clothes without getting kicked out. Oh, interesting. All right, what is this place? This is the Gerudo Secret Club, GSC for short. This is where you can buy the male version of the armor. Oh, okay. This is the only shop in Gerudo Town where someone would buy clothes meant for Vo to wear. Despite it being illegal to sell Vo some clothing in this town, there's a high demand for such sort of things. I never seen a Vo disguise himself as a Vi like you have though. Oh, we each have something to hide. Let's ignore that. Okay. Oh shit, she found me out. All right, fuck it. Let's put on my clothes. All right.
Oh.
The bright light of the sun doesn't agree with me. I haven't paid my respects to him for many years. What is this place? Gucci Club is on by being luggage sell. Yeah. All right. Okay. So how do I buy it? Do I just walk over to it and just buy it? Oh, that's a special one made using luminous stone. If you're interested, you need to trade me the materials. Oh, and there's a handling fee too.
Oh.
Wait. What the fuck are the materials? What? Oh, radiant tights, luminous stones. Wait, it only does 3 damage? The mill armor is to your right. Oh. Oh, it has heat resistance. Oh, it's expensive as fuck. Golly. Oh, okay. It looks cool though. I really like that. All right, so 450, 1300, and 650. Damn, I need to sell hella shit. Hold up. Let me calculate that real quick. So, 1300. All right, and then we got 450. Right. And then we got 650. Oh, you get max heat resistance with it and better armor. So that's true. That's true. Plus 650. That's 2,400. 2,400 rupees. I only have 1,500. Damn. Do I have anything good that I could sell? Hold up. Buy from me. I thought I could only pay more than any trader rate without able to pick something rare. Oh, I'm not able to sell. I can sell. They're not gonna buy my food. I can't sell weapons. Oh, I guess not. They're not a blacksmith. I guess so. I guess I can't. I mean, why would they want this Nintendo Switch shirt? And I can't sell this because I'm wearing it right now. Okay, so I need to keep that in mind. Okay. All right. So I get max heat resistance and whatnot. I will have to keep that in mind, y'all, because I don't want them to kick me out. All right. Okay, so I can't afford this right now, but eventually I'll be able to afford it. No eating ASMR. Yeah, I'll be eating my. Yep, for sure. I mean, I guess we'll see. Where are we going? All right, so I can't afford the armor, unfortunately, but I do want to keep things going. I mean, I could always come back when I get more money and then do it. So I guess for now, I'll just go out to where I need to go. So that's here, the Divine Beast Navorus. But I need to get a sand seal, so let me do that. But I will come back to get that. The sand seals were all trained by Frelly. They're faster and they wait for you to return to them. By comparison, the ones outside haven't been trained. They'll just run off the moment you dismount. It's definitely worth renting a trained one. Frelly puts her hand into training them. Frelly trained the seals using the sand race. Sand seal races? They're a Garuda tradition. It's pretty simple. Use a sand seal to race around the course to see who's the fastest. I gotta edit still. Need to lock in on that if I want to get this out by next week. No, yeah, definitely do your thing. Definitely, I love having you here and everything, and it's great to have your commentary. But definitely edit your video for sure. You could always stop back through if you ever finish. Whenever the VOD will still be here, you could always drop a comment and I'll definitely chat it out with you. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely be, obviously, you know where I'm at in Breath of the Wild right now. You know we'll be playing this for a little while. So, definitely do your thing though. But I do appreciate you being here. It's pretty simple. Use the sand seal to go out to the southeast gates and you head to the right. You'll see the starting line immediately. No harm in taking a peek, right? Vasak. If you're looking for it, the Across the Desert sand seal might be worried. My 20 was rumpy one. You need a shield to pay How do I set seal? Once you get a hold of a sand seal, you need to go to the guided direction you want it to go. Okay, steer, let go, and dash. Okay. Practice makes perfect, that's right. Sand seal. Yo, Link with these damn puns. Sand seal? Serious? Seriously? Okay. It's quite dangerous to cross the desert on foot, but if you have a sand seal, you'll breeze right along. Obviously, sand seals are important to Gerudo people. Let's seal the deal. All right, seal another time. All right. Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. The controls are inverted. Okay. The controls are inverted. That's cool. So when I go to the left, it makes me go to the right. And when I go to the right, it makes me go to the left. All right. This is where I need to go anyways. Oh fuck. All right. So let's save it here. All right. I think Reader should be up there. I'm shocked. Despite what the chief said, I wasn't someone as short as you, but the chief must have her reasons for believing that you can fight a divine beast. She's waiting for you at the top of the lookout post. Damn, bro. You gotta do me like that. I know I'm short, but hey, listen. You know what they say, big things come in small packages, okay? I'm saving the whole damn world, okay? Believe in me. All right, I don't want to start this mission just yet because I do want to get that armor. With that being said, though, we're gonna end it here for today. Thank you to everybody who came through. Thank you for everybody who may have shared everything. They're really helpful. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to. I definitely want to get that for sure because, like I said, I'm not always gonna be in a. I mean, I should always. You should. I mean, realistically, just being optimal, you should always have food on you, whether that's like a meal, whether that's ingredients. Have a good one. You have a good one as well, Val. You always do want to have ingredients and food on you, but you know, you don't want to be in a place where you like you don't have that and you like basically get caught out. And I don't want to be stuck in a loop where I can't leave because I'm gonna die. And my only option is to fast travel away, and I haven't hit the tower yet or shrine. So you know what? We'll do that. But with that being said, I'm your host Aprilsamurai, and I will see y'all either tomorrow or later today. But thank you. Have a good one. Samurai out. Peace.